Welcome to the Winning Edge Investments Podcast. Winning Edge Investments provides industry-leading horse racing and sports betting tips, ratings and education, enabling you to invest intelligently and treat your betting like a business. Go to www.winningedgeinvestments.com to learn more about how you can start to supercharge your betting bank immediately. Treat your betting like a business and invest intelligently with Winning Edge Investments.
Yes, welcome back to Giddy Up on this Friday morning. It's great to have your company. Now, thanks to Winning Edge Investments, tips and ratings for racing and sports. It's now time to welcome in Dean Evans. We missed him last week, but what a weekend of racing it promises to be, as we've mentioned a few times already this morning. Highlighted by that Makybe Diva at Flemington, and Dean is ready to go. Good morning, Dino.
Good morning, Gareth. How you going?
Good, thank you, mate. I can't, and I've said this on a few occasions this morning, I can't recall a more important day at the start of the spring than tomorrow. It's like moving day at its best, especially in the Makybe Diva.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. You know, the Makybe Divas, one of the key lead-ups as they start to then head to the Turnbull and decide whether they're going to a Caulfield Cup or a Cox Plate or a Melbourne Cup. And it's a cracker field, only 8 in it, and 7 Group 1 winners, and the other one got beat a nose in the Group 1. So it's just a high quality field. And then at Rosehill, you've got the Run to the Rose, which is always the key lead-up to the Golden Rose, and that's, it's a good set of 3-year-olds as well. So, all the good horses are popping up tomorrow.
So Via Sistina with Bet365 is at 2:30. Mr. Brightside has had some good backing. He's been clearly the best backed here with Bet365 to win the Makybe Diva and go back-to-back in this race. He's at $3. Pride of Jenny is at $6.50 and Pinstripes at $9, Antino at $13 and a Tissue is at $16. Big prices for the stays in Warmonger at 40-1 and Circle of Fire at 100-1. How do you assess this year's Makybe Diva?
Yeah, look, really interesting race. Obviously, from a speed map perspective, it's interesting. You've got obviously Pride of Jenny, who will lead, and the harder she goes, the better she goes. When I look at all of the ratings, the quicker she goes up front, the better she performs in the end. I did say a couple of weeks ago that that northeasterly wind was going to smack in the face of all the leaders and make it hard for them, and she really struggled. But how much that was due to the wind or her just going a lot slower than usual, or her just not being fit, or her being cooked from the Queen Elizabeth, we're going to learn a lot about all of that in this race. You then got sort of Mr. Brightside, who'll sit second, and then are all really backmarkers after that, not with a lot of speed, so it'll be quite competitive out the back there, just trying to get a reasonable position. In the last 10 years, no mares have won this race, and only one horse in the last 10 years has come off a Sydney run. The vast majority of them either coming first up for Queensland run, or 7 of the 10 winners have come off a Memsie. So the other interesting thing with Via Sistina, she's clearly a high quality mare. Who wins, in the Randwick and Warwick Stakes the Wing Stakes have been very visually impressive, but on the database, her times are actually very slow. They ran 20 lengths below par when she won the Randwick. They ran 4 lengths below par when she won the Wing Stakes. So the database and sort of my ratings have her very, very poorly rated. And so, I think she's a bit of a lay in this race. Also, just a sense that horses can sort of sprint well fresh early, and then, her target's the Cox Plate, and she won't be as fresh coming in here. Pride of Jenny needs to improve sharply. Whether she's going to bounce back this prep, this run will tell us. She's usually better, 3rd, 4th, 5th up anyway. So I'm not putting the ruler through her, but I don't think she'll be winning tomorrow. And then you got Mr. Brightside, who was sort of half a run short first up, and there's just a risk that he's maybe half a run short here as well. He's one of the leading chances, but I thought he was a bit short in the market, given that. The two I was actually interested in, after profiling the race, was Pinstriped horses who are 3rd up and really ready to go. Have a very good record in this race. He won 4 from 24 starters. And obviously he doesn't have the class of the other runners, but he beat Mr. Brightside home last start, and he's the one who's sort of up, ready to go, and really fit. And so I sort of surprised myself after rating the race and and putting it all together, I actually thought Pinstripe was a very, very good each-way bet here. And the horse that I think is a roughie that could really surprise everyone is Warmonger. He brings a really similar profile. Incentivized won this race, coming off a 2,400 metre win at Eagle Farm, fresh up. Russian Camelot won a SA Derby and then came into this race first up and got beat around second, beaten the neck. And even Mr. Quickie, who placed in an SA Derby and then won a Queensland Derby, just like Warmonger, ran third in this race behind Gadding and Mystic Journey. So it's a race that sort of 4-year-olds coming off that Queensland or SA Derby form actually run really well in. And I just think, with enough negatives around Via Sistina and Pride of Jenny in particular for me, and even Mr. Brightside slightly, I just think it's a race with some value, and I'm actually quite keen to back Pinstripe and Warmonger.
Okay, that is interesting. Yeah, it is a great race. And as you point out, you can deep dive into Warmonger and even Pinstripe, who, as Enver Yustasovic said yesterday, that he can win again. He's a race-fit horse and stepping up to the mile won't be a problem. So many questions that we're looking forward to being answered there after that race there at Flemington, the Mackay Diva. So Pinstriped each way and Warmonger there for you, Dino. And then at Rosehill, the Run to the Rose is the highlight race. You got Storm Boy at 210 with Bet365. Bustling's been solid at 5, the former WA star. Traffic Warden's been easy at $8. Switzerland at $8. Linebacker has trolled nicely at $12 and Emirates at $13. And then big prices for Fearless at $23. There's nothing wrong with Tropicus. He's at $26 and then Anodes at $31. Of course, Mayfair's been scratched. He'll go around in that 1,400 metre race at Rosehill tomorrow. Your thoughts here, Dean?
Yeah, look, a heap of speed here. It's going to be a quick race. Anode, Linebacker, Bustling and Storm Boy are all going to be, pushing forward for the pace. You might see Storm Boy actually take a sit here, as opposed to him leading in the San Domenico. And then you got the Emirates, Traffic Warden, Switzerland, and Fearless, all taking sort of positions behind them. So Tropicus will be right out the back. Look, really interesting race. Storm Boy was visually impressive first up. He only beat Mayfair, but he could only sort of do what he did in front. It was sort of in line with par of the race, so it didn't rate through the roof, to be honest. Bustling is, targeting the Everest. It'll be fairly lined up first up. The trials have been okay, and it'll be interesting to see how he measures up against these. The two horses I'm most excited about are a couple that we spoke about sort of in futures for future races. Traffic Warden won the size produce, went fourth in the Golden Slipper. He beat the nose in the ATC size produce. There's a 1,000 metre trial that he won at Hawkesbury. It was just very, very impressive. He beat Frost. Frost was hard ridden, and he just sort of jogged by him and won very easily and sort of 4 lengths above par. And James Cummings won this race 4 times out of the past 5 years. The Golden Rose is not far away, so I think this horse is going to be more wound up than people think. I think Traffic Warden's a big chance, and the other horse, Switzerland, won his first 3 starts, including the Todman. He's one of the favourites for the Golden Slipper. I think he probably just, was flattened after 3 runs in a row and just didn't perform the Golden Slipper, but he did some quiet trials. Reports I'm getting is that he's actually really, really flying in track work, and so I actually think that the leaders up here could sort of bust themselves up, and I'm quite keen to back both Traffic Warden and Switzerland here. I think they'll be swooping hard, and as long as it's not a leaders' blast track at Rosehill, I think those two can win here.
Yeah, both at $8, Traffic Warden and Switzerland. Love that. And each way price in the Run to the Rose. What about your best bet outside of those 2 features?
Look, I think early in the day, the horse that we mentioned before, his first up run, and he absolutely flew home in the first up at Rosehill was Unusual Legacy, who on a day where it was a fairly on-pace day, he sort of settled last with an apprentice on, really flew home. He ran the second quickest last 800 metres out of 109 runners. First up, Unusual Legacy, and I think at race 3 in Rosehill, number 7, I think he's just perfectly placed here. There's a hot speed up front. It'll sort of settle 6th or 7th. And I think it's going to be very, very hard to beat in race 3, Unusual Legacy.
Beautiful. I think that was Charlie Duckworth's best as well, and Chris Waller's social media preview there during the week. So Unusual Legacy, race 3, number 7. Hey, Dean, it's going to be a great weekend. We're going to learn a lot. Bring it on, and look forward to catching up with you next week as well. And of course, for Giddy Up listeners and SEN Track listeners, just go to Winning Edge Investments. If you sign up, it's the best, and I always say this, it's the best winner that you can back all weekend because you get a 50% lifetime discount. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Just chuck in the promo code SEN,
Yep.
And your first service gets that discount ongoing.
At Winning Edge Investments, our team of highly skilled expert analysts and full-time professional punters review the data, crunch the figures, assess the best betting opportunities, and deliver them to your phone via our app and your email inbox in real time so you profit. Go to www.winningedgeinvestments.com. Look at our membership options, make your choice, and enter the promo code PODCAST to receive a special 25% discount on your first membership just for listening. That's PODCAST in capital letters for a 25% ongoing discount on your first membership. Treat your betting like a business and invest intelligently with Winning Edge Investments.